Hi, Bill Cullen here, slipping out the welcome mat for another edition of Cullen's Adventures. We're going to soar forth on it today, up through the Earth's atmosphere and out some 800 million miles into space for a quick sightseeing tour around and about what is hands down the most spectacular member of our solar system, the moon-studded, ring-bedecked planet called Saturn. Our program is presented as a special service by this station and is furnished by Grolier Incorporated, publishers of the Book of Knowledge, the foremost children's encyclopedia for more than 50 years. Now, if you're in the mood for stargazing during the next few weeks, don't waste your time looking for the planet Saturn, unless, of course, you're prepared to stay up a while. Saturn is visible all right, but not until close to midnight, and even then it's not much to look at with the naked eye. Without a telescope, Saturn looks much like every other star in the heavens, a little bit yellower maybe than most, but in no way spectacular. Now, if you could do your stargazing from outer space, on the other hand, from a spot somewhere out beyond the Sputniks and the Moon and Mars and Jupiter, Saturn would be really something to see. And if human beings ever manage to land a rocket ship on the surface of Saturn, they'll be seeing one of the most outstanding and astounding sights of the universe. Now, the reason, as you may or may not remember, is this. Saturn is equipped with more in the way of exterior adornments than any other planet in the solar system. Not only is it circled by 9 moons of assorted sizes, it's surrounded by a one-of-a-kind ring system. Now, there are 3 separate rings stretching out some 170,000 miles from Saturn's equator like a tremendous hat brim. Though the rings range in width from about 11,000 miles to around 16,000 miles, they're probably only about 10 miles thick. They're composed of countless millions of tiny, cold, dark bodies, each one shining by the reflected light of the sun. All in all, it adds up to quite a sight. Now, if you'd like a few more Saturn statistics, I can report that in terms of size, Saturn is one of the largest planets of the solar system, second only to Jupiter. According to the Book of Knowledge, its diameter at the equator is roughly 75,000 miles, or just about 10 times as big as the Earth's diameter. In terms of speed, it's rather a slowpoke. Earth makes its journey around the sun at a speed of 18.5 miles per second. Now, Saturn creeps along at only 6 miles a second. And while it takes the Earth only 365 and a fraction days to make one solar round trip, it takes Saturn almost 30 years. So those long Saturn winters, in other words, are very long indeed. A day on Saturn, on the other hand, is comparatively short. Instead of 24 hours long, as on Earth, it's just a little over 10 hours long. Could be in the next few decades it'll be possible to travel to Saturn, but it's not a spot many human beings will pick out for a holiday. The reason is that the atmosphere on Saturn is largely composed of gases that human beings can't breathe. There's also a problem of heat, or let's say the lack of it. The maximum, remember I said the maximum surface temperature on Saturn is probably around 243 degrees below zero. The scenery, though, is spectacular, no doubt about that. But if you go, take a hot water bottle. Well, on this quick sightseeing tour around the planet Saturn, that seems to be all we have time for. Oh, one quick invitation to parents. We've put together a booklet containing an assortment of facts and figures very similar to those you've heard on the show. If you'd like to receive a copy to pass on to the youngsters of the house, why don't you let us hear from you? There's no charge for it. All we need is your name and address on a postcard. Mail it to Cullen's Adventures, Box 3400, Grand Central Station, New York City, and the booklet's yours. I'll be back again tomorrow with another of these Cullen's Adventure segments, furnished by Grolier Incorporated, publishers of the Book of Knowledge. Until then, thank you and goodbye.